Hey websters, uh, I'm here lying on my bed using uh, a tripod so I have both my hands over my headboard, and I thought I'd just take the chance to explain why 2021 is already a really terrible year for me personally. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it's a terrible year already globally, but let me tell you why it's one for me and my family so far. So on the 5th of January at like 3 a.m. Oh, by the way, before I get into that, I am in bed, as you can tell, um, by the pillow and the messy hair, and the fact that this shirt is the creasiest it will ever get. And, um, I'm just not feeling well. It's like the middle of the day, and there's someone drilling outside, and I no longer care about like reasons not to record. Uh, I've learned that people can deal with a lot more than they complain about in the comment section. So, uh, not in my videos. People are really nice in my videos. Just want to put that out there. I've never really had a bad comment. I have almost no comments, but that's another story. So, I thought while I am lying in bed trying to not feel as generally awful as I feel right now, I thought I'd have a little chat about, yeah, what happened on the 5th of January at like 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning. Maybe 4 a.m. I can't remember. I think it was I think it was 2 a.m. 2:30. January the 5th, the morning of January the 5th. So not the evening, not the night period that would technically be January the 6th. It was the morning, the very dark morning of January the 5th. My dad sometimes stays up late reading the news. He gets carried away. So he reads News 24, and then he shuts down his laptop because his computer recently broke. And my dad has had different laptops before. He bought one for work when he was unemployed during my university thing so that he could do freelance work. And that's an Acer. And that we keep as like a traveling family laptop for if my mom wants to use it to like video call friends, or if she wants to um, try and type something up, etc. Or if I need a laptop quickly to plug into the TV or things like that for, I don't know, Netflix, etc. Because no, we don't have a smart TV, and technically PlayStation 3 can get Netflix, but sometimes we just want somebody will put up like a YouTube video or a thing that they've actually downloaded onto the laptop, so, or a hard drive or things like that. So we plug it in to the TV and use it to view things. So that's like the household laptop. Then we have my dad's laptop from his previous job that he bought from the company with his severance package when he stopped working there, so that he could have a personal laptop for himself uh, to use in case his PC isn't working great, and often because we can't really afford to buy new parts, we just make do with what we have. So my dad's PC is extremely old and it gave out several times before, and we've like fixed it however we can, but my dad was getting tired of like just not really having something to use, especially when my mom was using the laptop a lot. So yeah, from his severance package from I don't know a year and a half ago, he bought the laptop that was a Lenovo, I think. I can't remember which brand it was. It was either HP or it was a Lenovo. One of those two. I can't remember how many other laptop brands there are. I probably named like a majority of them already. Anyway, so we he was using well my mom and I were asleep is what I was trying to say. And my dad was using the laptop in his study. He had plugged in his wireless keyboard and mouse combo that he got on a sale from a different store into that, and he was using that laptop because his computer broke down, and he really likes watching the news, and in his spare time he likes like playing solitaire on the PC and bridge, and he likes Minesweeper a lot. My dad is like OG gaming, computer gaming fan. Um, and he was going to load a bunch of things over from his hard drive in his computer through an external case that we have onto his laptop. And thank goodness he didn't, because in the early hours of the 5th, someone broke into our house. And sorry about that noise. My mom also watches YouTube all the time. Someone broke into our house in at that moment and crept into the dining room where my dad had just recently, like 2 minutes ago, shut down his laptop and gone to the toilet. Now, since my dad had a stroke, he is pretty light sensitive in his eyes with what's left of his eyesight. And so he goes to the bathroom in the dark, and if it's at night, he spends as much time as he can doing things in the dark, and he's very comfortable with it. We keep, so long as there's like ambient light in another room, he can see enough to do what he needs to do. So he goes to the bathroom, and in those like 20 minutes maximum that he's in the bathroom, because yeah, my dad's old, he takes time in the bathroom, okay, don't judge him. Uh, Somehow, someone crept into the house, unplugged both the Acer that was charging and his laptop, the the other one, the i5, let's call it the i5. I think it's an i5 or an i7. Uh, those are processor cores, by the way, to anybody watching who doesn't know. It's like the brain of your PC. Uh, and it's actually really, it's like the heart. It kind of pumps information through everything, and the better your processor are, the faster it can process information and open projects and tasks and things like that. So the i7, actually, I think it was an i7. They unplugged it, unplugged the Acer, and got the heck out. Thankfully, that is all they took that we saw originally when my dad came out of the toilet. He went to go turn off the lights in the dining room, uh, which is like the excess light that he could use in the bathroom. And he noticed that his laptop was gone. And so he went immediately to my mom, woke her up, and was like, "Did you just move the laptop?" etc. And then he came and he woke me up and he was like, "Where did you take the laptop?" Um, And it's weird because he felt a little confused and upset, and it makes sense why, because we have the Acer to be like the floating one, so why would we take his personal laptop that was plugged in and everything away from its spot? So we noticed that immediately that none of us have it clearly. We look around and we see that the Acer is also not plugged in anymore. Both the plugs are just lying there. Which, by the way, why the heck? Why? I don't understand. Why the heck does someone steal two laptops? Just the laptops. Like, why are you not taking the power cables as well? Like, you had a minute to unplug them. Why did you not take the power cables? We don't understand. So anyway, we notice that those are gone, and we start frantically looking like through the house and looking through every door and everything because we're like, shit, if like people broke in, our cats might escape into the garden, and we keep them inside because surrounding areas have like vicious dogs and other cats, like wild cats in the area, so we want to keep them safe and protected. So we were like, after we were like, okay, we gotta look, number one, for the robbers if they're still in the house, number two, if the cats are still in the house, and number three, if there's an opening anywhere. These are the three things that we were looking for. So we were wondering if there was like broken glass or like one of our doors wasn't locked, or trying to see if they like broke a bolt on anything. But we're all pretty sure we would have heard that. Like, it's not soft noises, and I was only lightly asleep at the time anyway. Like, when my dad had come to ask me a question, I immediately was awake again, and I was practically just dozing. And my mom said that she was also just dozing. Like, we were all lightly asleep. So we look and we can't find a single door that is unlocked and a single window that is broken until we get to the kitchen, and we notice the one door that is window that is hidden behind some tall uh, some more other kind of bamboo tree that we have in our garden that we keep open, tied to a string, so that it's only open like by this much. um, we keep it tied to a string so that our cats can like have oxygen and have a little breather from outside, and still like poke their head as far as they can like get before their cheekbones stop them, and if they turn their head, their chin would stop them. So we give them like a little peek, and we do it so that they get like fresh air and things like that. And on the windowsill, we usually have a lot of plants, like right by that window. And we had noticed that the string was broken, the window was wide open, and they had moved the plants off of the windowsill to outside on the patio and somehow fit themselves through a gap that's like 20 centimeters. So we have burglar bars on our windows. So, which makes so little sense to me. This is the part that friggin' blows my mind. The bars are like squares of like 20 centimeters apart, and somehow some person fit through these bars. Like, how the frick does somebody fit through these bars? So we're immediately like, is this the only place that they opened up? And we look again, and yeah, it's the only place. And because the string is like snapped, we know that we wouldn't do that for our cat's sake. So we're like, this can be the only place they got in. Like, how is someone that small? So either it is the world's skinniest person who also happens to be the best contortionist in the world, or it's a child. And there was more than one person. Now it's likely there was more than one person because the window is, there's no real like way to climb up onto it by yourself, unless you have like really long legs. Um, it sits out over our garden, behind the world's flimsiest bamboo. Like that bamboo, you cannot climb that kind of stuff because it will just fall right over. Like, gone. So somebody has to help you climb onto that to be able to get to it. And so we really do think that it was somebody else. It's like two people. So we phone the police. We show them everything. Police show up at like 3:30 in the morning, and they question us, and we explain everything that happened, and then they're like, "Is that the only thing that was taken?" And we looked generally around for all the other valuables and things like that. It actually just struck me right now, like, how did they even fit those laptops out that gap? Like, they must have done some serious shimmying and like greasing up of the laptops for them to like slightly fit. So anyway, we get to back to the police. They ask us if anything's taken, and oh my word, we looked through everything. We're pretty sure nothing of value has been taken otherwise. And then my mom like looks around just by the heirlooms cabinet, which is just a bunch of like ornaments and glasses and things like that. And on top of it is where we keep like family photos and um, some nice collectibles of hers and dad's. And she notices that our letter opener, which was pretty ornate, is also gone. And we're wondering why somebody would take a letter opener, and then the police tell us actually they probably heard the toilet flush and panicked and grabbed something that was sharp, thinking at the last minute that if they were found, they might have to like try and escape by wounding the person who found them. And then it struck us that we were actually, broken into, that some foreign person was, well, not foreign as in living somebody else, like a foreign entity, had forced their way into our home, the place that is supposed to make you feel the safest. And yeah, that's when we realized how much worse the situation could have been, and the damage that could have happened that thankfully didn't. So yeah, it left us a little shook. By the time the police left, they said they'd come tomorrow morning again with the full CSI team and sob for prints and a bunch of other things, like try and investigate to see if there were any footprints, etc. Which, by the way, they found no fingerprints, no hair caught on the hair or skin caught on like the bars, which is so miraculous to me. There were zero footprints because it was like it rained really hard after the break-in, so the ground was soft and the grass was shook up naturally, so any evidence that we would have had outside in terms of footprints and like the trail they took was washed away. So we have zero things to go by right now, other than the person who broke in was really small. That's it. We are under the impression that we'll never see our stuff again. We pretty much were from the get-go. But then it also like struck us when the investigator came later in the day to say what he would do following the investigation. It struck us that they probably were in our property for a little while before they decided to actually break in to find exactly what they wanted to take, because it just seemed so thorough and so quick that the police really say that this is probably people who were casing your property, particularly because they found the one open window as well. So, yeah, that's what happened. That's why it's pretty awful for me in 2021. I mean, we've taken measures to be safer now with our things and our belongings, and we close curtains as soon as sunset is happening, and so that at no point is our house the only thing that's illuminated, or the room, so no one can see inside. I'm planning on getting a new dog after my old dog died last year. Despite that we don't have lots of money for a dog, we will find money. And we're just really thankful it wasn't worse. But I haven't slept since at night, which is probably why my body is facing so much fatigue. It's also why you can see all these bags under my eyes, even when I'm lying down. So yeah, that's why this year hasn't been great. I really hope your year is much better. And just be vigilant. We're also going to replace a few things in our house. Not the laptops, we can't afford it. We can't afford anything, but we mean security measures. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I'm too sick to edit this, so I'm really sorry that this is going to be a very long video, but it is what it is. So anyway, yes, I do hope that you are safe, that your year finds you with prosperity rather than loss. I hope that you will remember to self-isolate, to avoid crowded places, to wear your mask if you have to go out. Don't be risky. This new strain of corona is the most infectious, so please do yourself the favor of not putting yourself at risk, but also do everybody else in the world the favor of not putting them at risk. I hope that you are gonna do well today as well, and that you're gonna have a great January and also rest of the year. But I mean, like, right now, I wish right now is also good for you, because I know a lot of people don't seem pretty optimistic right now. So I hope that you end up having actually a really good time and good things happen for you. And be safe and be careful and be aware that during our new lockdowns for this second wave, that you are vigilant, that you are aware that some people will take advantage of this time, will take advantage of the fact that everybody is going to be home and assuming they're safe. Because some people aren't at home. Some people are willing to break the law and risk getting corona to steal from you. So be careful out there. And I'll see you kitties next time.